Hey everyone, it's Ariana, Director of Broker Relations here at Remine. And today on our Agent Spotlight, we have our guest, Rob Chevez from the CAZA Group, powered by Keller Williams. Now, Rob is based out of Reston, Virginia, and his team is the 59th largest team in Keller Williams worldwide. And Rob, how long have you been in real estate for?
For about a decade now.
For about a decade now,
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And you're doing about approximately how much in sales this year?
We'll do 250 transactions for about 120 million in volume.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember having this conversation with you about 2 years back. Mm-hmm. You were telling me about how you wanted to expand your team, which at that time I think was 7 to 10 team members, and now you've more than doubled it mm-hmm. in less than 2 years.
Yep.
I mean, that is just so impressive to me because it's just such a fast growth. And you know, you've done so much in terms of the infrastructure of your company too. It's not like you didn't just hire a ton of buyer agents and listing agents. You have a whole entire marketing department now, and there's just so much going on. So, I mean, tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So we self-reflected and said, how do we get to the next level? How do we break into the top 100, then into the top 50, top 25? And we realized that in order to do that, we needed to go after talent and develop talent within the organization. So my focus really started focusing more on going after people versus going after listings, right? And then making sure that we had the right infrastructure to be able to bring people on board and get them up and running and trained and productive as quickly as possible, which meant that we needed an awesome training platform and we needed a system for people to follow. And so that's what we set out to do about 2 or 3 years ago is develop that infrastructure and that system to allow people to succeed at a high level within the business.
And so I remember you telling me that, you know, the minute someone comes and gets onboarded onto your team, it's like, all right, the first thing you've got to do is you need to put your whole entire database into our system, and we're going to clean it out, and we're going to figure out exactly who is an actual potential lead and who's not. Yeah. And now you're tracking those people, right? So they're uploading their 250 or 500 of their database, and you're tracking them in Remine. So tell us a little bit about that, how that's working.
Yeah. So what I find is that the number one problem most agents have is that their data is all over the place, and it's full of holes. So before they get any kind of leads from us or any kind of appointments, we want them to put in the 250 to 500 people and then fill in the blanks. So we'll go in the Remine and make sure, we'll ask them to make sure if you've got the phone number but you don't have the email address, plug in the email address, plug in the database, and then track them in the back end of Remine so that if anything happens with that particular person, you're alerted to making a phone call and being able to call them. But get your data really, really clean for your core 250, your core 300 people, so that you could then invite them to our events and you can do direct emails to them and we could do direct mailing to them. The cleaner the database, the better. So it's really filling in the blanks and using Remine to help us fill in the blanks. We actually have virtual assistants that help them fill in those blanks. And so it's just put your people in, and then we'll take care of the rest. And Remine makes it easy for us because before we would have to go to 7 different systems in order to be able to get all the data and make that happen. Now we could just do it
all in one place.
All in one place.
And then you have kind of like a go-to script, I'm assuming, for every notification, right? So it's like you have this whole entire CAZA University built out where all of your agents have access to different buyer presentations, listing presentations, how to handle objections. And now it's like, okay, well, if you get this notification, this is how you should respond, right? You have them, they're up and ready to go so that in real time when they get that notification, they know how to respond.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's just genius that you had that built out. And it's no wonder, I would imagine that during any recruiting appointment, you show that and it's like, who wouldn't want to work for you, right?
Yeah, it's about taking the friction out of their business and making it easier for them to do their business.
Right.
That's our whole mindset was how do we get them so that when somebody comes in, all they're doing is focused on 3 things, which is booking appointments, going out on appointments, and negotiating contracts, right? Everything else we take care of, and Remine helps us do that.
Yeah, and that's just fantastic because there's so many teams out there that they just throw leads at you, right?
Yep.
They're like, oh, well, if you come join my team, I'll buy you some leads. But the reality of it is, you can give agents leads all day long, but if there is no training or structure or rhyme or reason to those leads, those leads are never going to convert.
Never convert.
Yeah.
They need a system.